Welcome back to the Manifest She podcast. I'm Shannon, and this is where we talk about all things vision board and manifestation because you deserve to live your life without exhausting yourself trying to get there. That dream life that you think about, those pictures that you put on vision boards, the things that you imagine in your head. And here, that's exactly what we talk about and how to bring it into your day-to-day life. And I need to tell you something that can completely change how you think about this whole manifestation and mindset space. And it's you don't manifest what you want. And a lot of people think when I go to put something in my vision board, when I go to journal, when I go to affirm, when I'm thinking the right thoughts, I'm thinking about what I want. And as I think about it, then I'm attracting it. And that's not the case. Because if you manifested what you wanted, you'd have everything that you want. You manifest what you believe. I know. And sometimes those beliefs that we have, we're not even aware that we have them because we manifest from our subconscious mind. 95% of what we experience in our day-to-day lives is happening in the part of our brain that we're not even paying attention to. It's not that 5% part that's like, oh, I want this now. It's your subconscious that's already functioning on beliefs. And so there's a gap. So what you're experiencing is what you believe. What you have taught yourself, what becomes automatic in your life, that is your day-to-day experience. So it's not thinking the right thoughts. It's not being super happy and positive all the time. It's taking where there's a gap in the belief between what you want and what your subconscious is currently running on. We have to close that gap. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because really, this is where most vision boards are completely wrong from the start. And it's not anybody's fault. We were just always taught with everything to think about what you want, be grateful as if you already have it, and put that desire, what it looks like to have the thing, in your vision board. And that's how most people make them. And you might be like, girl, I do manifestation in totally different ways. Like around here, and I love you, and there's nothing wrong with that. We do actually vision diaries, which is a compilation of the most powerful manifestation tools, all done in a vision diary. So I just want to let you know that if you're new around here, so you kind of know what I'm talking about and why I'm talking about it this way. That's just the method that we use here. But it can be for any method, right? So this is going to apply to any method that you may use. So we have to fill this gap. But when we make our board or when we go into any kind of manifestation practice, many times we're focusing on the 5% desire of what we want. Oh, my conscious mind is aware that I want this thing now. It could be the dream house. It can be the loving relationship. It can be a successful business. It can be what you consider financial stability or freedom, more time, whatever that is. You know, it can be I'm going to the bathroom without somebody knocking on the door and bugging me, like without my kids like walking in while I'm trying to pee. Like around here, nothing is off limits. You can put anything on there that you want. This is what I truly desire, right? So we find these images, we put them on our vision boards. We don't put those in our vision diaries, but we put these on our vision boards and it collects dust. Or we go and say affirmations and nothing changes. And then we're hoping and crossing our fingers that things are changing because we're not truly getting down to how manifestation works. We're not looking at the mechanism that makes our daily experience. Now, I know in mindset, we've talked about, well, you have a limiting belief, something that's holding you back. Oh, you think money doesn't grow on trees. Just walk around affirming I'm rich and all will be well. But so much of that advice is just sitting there working in 5% of your brain. It's not truly creating belief or dealing with underlying beliefs. Our beliefs create our reality. You don't think to attract it. You don't say an affirmation and it happens. Those things are a compilation of tools you can use to build belief. But it's once it's solidified as a belief that it becomes automatic. I want you to think of all of the automatic things that you do every single day. Automatic. I know this is the route to work and I just go there. I don't even know how I got from point A to point B. I don't remember. It was automatic. Oh, well, this is just how, I get ready in the morning. It's automatic. This is just how I respond to certain things. It's automatic. I want you to think about when people talk about triggers, and y'all, this is not therapy, but I want you to think about when people talk about triggers, okay? It triggered me. No, there was something in your subconscious that said, this is how I respond when this happens. This is how I experience life when this happens. And triggers can be a good trigger, a not so good trigger. It can be all the things. Once again, we're not doing therapy here. We're dealing with where we are right now. But that is how we see those automatic things. So how do I find the beliefs within me that I need to work on that are limiting me? They are a limiting belief because they're keeping you from what you want now. But I just don't like that framing. And guys, I'm not a everything has to be positive person, but I do believe in framing things as they really are. Okay, so this belief is getting in your way, sure. But it doesn't mean it's wrong. I think there's this connotation, or there has been, and I think that's one of the things that I really want you to understand. I say it all the time, and I'm always going to say it. Just because you have a limiting belief doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Just means it's not what you want anymore and you're moving past it. And I think that's a big differentiator that we need to have, because if we're walking in shame or judgment against ourselves, or we're feeling some kind of way about ourselves because we have certain beliefs, we're not going to make progress, because you have to love yourself and believe you're worthy for any of this to work anyway. Like, worth is a big part of, like, I have to believe I am worthy. Because I guarantee you, any belief you look at, if there's some worthiness or self-doubt surrounding it, we need to work on that. Like, that's a belief that's standing in your way as well. So I don't want us to approach this practice with, oh, well, let me judge myself and go find all the things that's wrong with my brain that's stopping me. That's not what we're doing. We're just saying, you know what, that belief served me at some point in the past, or it's something that I learned, but it's just not for me, right? Like, it's not for me, and that's okay. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I made a post recently on Instagram, like, it doesn't matter if, like, you don't manifest because it's the new moon in Aries on Friday the 13th. And that's the biggest manifestation portal of the year. I'm just making up stuff here. But I see a lot of that. And some people go through and they do things on these certain astrological days and they manifest. Why? Because they believe in astrology. It's whatever you believe. And I'm not knocking it. Like, hey, if that's you, do you. I'm all about a new moon ritual and stuff. But that's for me. But it's based on what you believe. So maybe you grew up and, there was some kind of superstition and you believed it growing up, like you were taught that. Don't walk under a ladder. If you break a mirror, you're going to have 7 years of bad luck. I'm trying to think like the superstitions I heard growing up. So, knock on wood, things like that. Okay. Maybe you grew up with certain superstitions, and when you were growing up, it very much applied, right? Because you believed it, you were taught to believe it. But then as an adult, you're like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm not knocking on wood. I'm not, not going to walk under the ladder or whatever. I'm not going to feel like I'm doomed because I dropped my compact and the mirror broke. So maybe you're like, I don't want to believe that anymore. So when we talk about finding those beliefs that are getting in the way, once again, it can be something that you were taught, or it can be something that served you that no longer serves you anymore. Either way, you're just like, I don't want it anymore. It's not a big deal. And when we approach it as it's not really a big deal, I just choose to believe this instead, then we start moving into desire. Then you can get what you want. It's not really what you want or hope for or picture in your conscious mind. It's, what do you believe? What do I need to believe to experience that in my life? Because really we're talking about experiences, right? We're talking about, if I want that, it's an experience. So if you're somebody who wants to, only work Monday through Thursday, a friend of mine posted about that. Should she start her, Friday summers off thing sooner rather than later? And she would have her 3-day weekends. If that's something that you want an experience. You don't want Fridays off. You want to experience, or you hope to experience, more time outside of work. And so you have to ask yourself, if my beliefs are responsible for 95% of what I experience, and I want to only work 4 days a week, then I want to experience more free time outside of work. What do I need to believe for that to happen? And some of you right now are going to be like, but my job is open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I got to go to work on Fridays. That's just a belief. And you're like, no, Shannon, that's reality. Yes, that is your reality. That is the reality you're currently experiencing. But as you go to build beliefs that, you know what, I don't have to work the traditional 9 to 5. I can have days off. Maybe that leads to other opportunity in your life as you start to build that belief. Doesn't mean ignoring and just calling in sick every Friday at your job and then they see the pattern and you get fired. Like, that's not what it means. And a lot of people will teach you to be your best delusional self, and that's what it means. No, it's just building the belief that there's a possibility for that out there somewhere. It could be, you never know. Maybe you're pulling in this belief, and you're like, I love my job. I don't want to have to find a new job. Let's go through it all here when you're talking about it, because these are the conversations we have with ourselves when we're building up new beliefs. If we're just being real, we talk to ourselves. We have these internal dialogues like, well, yeah, I only want to work 4 days a week, but I love my job and I don't want to leave my job. Gosh, I just wish, but they would never, because they operate. How do you know they're not coming up with different shifts? How do you know in the background as you're building your belief that they're not going to say, certain people can work this, we're going to have a skeleton crew on Friday, or we're changing our whole model altogether? Or how do you know just another possibility that's like the job you love, but even better comes to you? And did you notice here, I'm not telling you have to start your own business. You can. It's a beautiful option if that's what you want to do. But you don't have to go that route. Like, you don't have to know how. You just have to build the belief. If you right now believe that's never going to happen at your job, it's never going to happen at your job. You're not going to experience it. But if you work on that belief that it's possible, it'll come. It'll come to you because you'll believe it and then you'll experience it in some form. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know how. Y'all get the 5-minute fix. This is really going to help you to weed through that. Because if you're not even a place, if you really think that's wishful thinking, leave it on the table. But the 5-minute fix will take you through it piece by piece so you can put those desires into the categories they go in, because we're only working with the manifestation. So if that's in your manifesting zone, it's absolutely possible. You just have to build a belief around it. But you don't have to know how, because your beliefs are what you're experiencing. That is the gap. If you're wondering why you put stuff on your vision board in January and now it's April and nothing's different, it's because when did you do belief work? Pasting pictures does not guarantee results. It does nothing. It's pasting pictures. I go to a sketchbook club on Thursday nights and I do collaging. I paste pictures, I make collages. But they're not about wants or desires. There's no belief work there. Just because I cut them out and paste them randomly doesn't mean they're going to come into my life. So when we're working on this, we're really working on belief building. That's the whole point. The vision board is not about what you want. It's about what belief do you need to build to experience life in a way that feels good to you. That's it. That's the magical thing right there. That's the secret. And the things that we hear or learn on the internet about thinking the right thoughts and practicing gratitude and journaling and visualization and meditation and these are tools to build belief. But people have really perverted the tools into making you think that there's like some kind of magic quick fix thing for you to do or have to get what you want. And that's not the case. These are tools to build the belief. We use the vision diary because we take a lot of these tools and we combine them into making one powerful tool that also saves you time. Because when I started all of this, I didn't have time. Y'all know I only have 7 minutes a day. So we can take these powerful tools that help to shape beliefs, to shape those beliefs faster to get what we want, to experience the desire, to experience the life we want to live. Because that's all desire is. That's all our dreams are. It's how do I want to experience my life day to day? And so that's what we do. and we close the gap. So we use the tools to close the gap. And what gap are we closing? The gap between what I currently believe and what I need to believe to actually experience this thing that I now want to experience. And so if you're ready to go on that journey and you're ready to go even deeper, you can join me in May at the Vision Board Reset Workshop, where we're going to take those tools. I'm going to teach you how to combine those tools, but I'm also going to teach you how to use them to build belief so that you can start experiencing what you want to experience faster. I'm going to put the link to it in the description. There is an early bird special if you sign up before April 21st, but don't wait because there's also limited spots. If anybody's been around any amount of time and know me, I do smaller gatherings. It's going to be live on Zoom, so you don't have to be local, because all of my friends and folks who are not local are like, dang it, but I'm not there. That's okay. I'm going to come to you, and we're going to do it on Zoom. So we're going to do the whole Manifest She method. We're going to do the whole Vision Diary method in real time. We're going to work on our Vision Diaries. You're going to get immediate feedback and help and coaching. This is my most popular in-person workshop that I do. It sells out multiple times a year, and I'm going to bring it live to Zoom for those of you who are not in the area. So we are going to have so much fun. We're going to bring our own snacks and wine or coffee or whatever you want to bring. All of the details are going to be in the description. Clicking the link on the description and get all the details, get yourself signed up, get that early bird special, make sure you grab your spot before they're all gone. I will send you all the supplies that I use, the specific Vision Diary that I use. I'll send you the supply list, but I also have a digital list. So you can do it digitally. You can do it if you're like me and you like something that's more tangible, we'll do it that way. But we're going to have a great time getting you from where you are to where you want to be. We're going to take those thoughts that you had in January, and we're actually start bringing them into the life that you experience every day with belief work, learning how to close that gap. And you're going to walk away being able to repeat this over and over and over, because we use our Vision Diaries all the time, not just once a year, not just at the spring equinox, which y'all know I love, right? Like I do stuff on my new year, nature's new year, or if you're like the January new year girl, but we do it all year long. I told y'all, like one time I put something in my diary and I got it 3 hours later. One time I put something in my diary and I got it 8 days later. It closes the gap because we work specifically with the manifestation zone, and we talk about how we use these to build beliefs, and we build our Vision Diary based on what do I need to believe to experience this, not just what do I want to experience. Because remember, what you're experiencing is based on what you currently believe. But the nice thing about our brains is that we can change them. They don't always have to believe those things. We can mold our own brain, and that's our power. We get to mold what we believe so that we can experience what we want. So go ahead, make sure you're signed up for the Vision Board Reset Workshop. Once again, I'm going to link it in the show description. Go click on there, get in there today. And this week, as you're going through, I want you to focus a little bit less on what you want, and I want you to start pondering, what do you need to believe to make that happen? I love you, and I'll chat with you next week. If you loved today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and share it with your fellow warriors. Let's create a ripple effect of liberation. Until next time, stay fierce, stay fabulous, and as always, live life unapologetically.